What's going on, guys? We're coming back at you with another spreadsheet, but this time it's going to be tracking the entire Finviz website. Now, I can't take full credit for this. It's actually my boy John, one of my subscribers, reached out to me, sent me this long detailed message of how he was able to use all my trackers and then create his own. So this is his masterpiece, his beauty. I think it's really cool. Now, what we've learned from Finviz is you can't track every stock, unfortunately. It is mainly for the US stocks, which sucks for all of my international viewers because there's a lot of you guys out there and you guys all rock. But hey, I still think this is really cool. And if you are someone that's tracking a lot of American stocks or a lot of US stocks, this is a really cool thing to use. So you could just see all the raw data right there. This is what it looks like. I think he did a great job. Very easy to present everything. And then on top of that, he actually has notes of what every single thing is, which I think is really cool. I guess that's for the stuff that maybe he's not too sure about, he's still learning, or he just needs a refresher. Whatever it is, that's what this video is going to be about, how to create this tracker. If you don't have the time, check out my Patreon and you can download it there. Or if you want to just support my channel. But let's dive right in.
So obviously right up here, you put in the ticker, let's say Target, hit enter. Everything loads. You can see exactly what we're looking at. We have Target Corporation, exactly where it is, in which industry, which exchange it's coming off of. All of the same fundamentals that you will get from Finviz. Let's actually jump to Finviz really quick. This is what he is mimicking. This chart down here, he's grabbing this information up here. And there's something else. He's grabbing this down here, which I think is very cool. So you don't have to deal with all of these ads when you're just trying to look up some fundamentals of a stock so you can do your research. Everything is right here. You can see right here, there's the description I was talking about. And he has little notes of every single one, key takeaways, exactly what it is as well. So I think he did an absolute amazing job at this. This is so cool. All the information is right here so you could better analyze stocks. Again, let's type in, how about Apple? There we go. There's Apple. How about, everyone's favorite stock in the beginning of 2021, GME. Awful fundamentals, company that makes no sense other than the short squeeze. Although it could have a bounce back. A couple of my friends think it's going to have a bounce back. How about TD? Again, beautiful setup. Let's jump in. Clean slate as always. And before we even dive into the code, I just want to set up the format of this. So the first thing you want to do is kind of bring down this one, maybe to that, make that a little bit bigger. We could probably even make it a little bigger than that. And it looks like the first 3 cells are merged. So we're going to merge those. And then it looks like the next 4 cells are merged. So we'll merge those. He had it a nice blue color. Looks like a dark blue, something like that. Maybe this blue. We'll do that. So once we have that set up, then we want to go down to the cell, the row 3, okay? And we want to go all the way to L. We're going to highlight all of these to L. And what we want to do is go to border, a bottom border, but we want to make it, he had it red. I really liked his colors, so we're going to stick with that. You can make whatever colors you want for it. But I really liked his colors. There was a nice thick line like that. And then it looked like he went down to 17. And this is kind of where the text is going to be of what the company is. So we can make that bigger. Actually, we're going to hold off on that for a second. You'll see why. But the last thing we want to do before we start typing in some stuff is right here. He kind of had that a lighter blue, something like that. And that represented what we were typing in. So this is where we'll type in our tickers. Say it's Apple. We're going to be typing that in, right? Now let's start to fill in some stuff. He had, obviously this is ticker. This is full ticker, as he named it. And pretty much that's going to be the ticker plus what exchange it's on. So right next to it is exchange. And exchange is going to be cool. We're going to be learning a new function here. You guys will see in a second. And then after that, what we have to do before we even start plugging in any code, we have to put all of the fundamentals in. So if we jump back to Finviz, right, go to finviz.com and then in the search button, so let's start from square one. So you're at the home screen of finviz.com. You go here. Let's say we have Apple in, so we'll do Apple. Well, you know what? We're going to do PayPal. PayPal is my favorite stock. So we go to PayPal, scroll down, and this is what we need to put in. Index, market cap, income, sales. And there's really, maybe you could copy and paste. Let's try to do that. See if we can make this video quicker for you guys. If you copy all of this, hit Control C, go back to Google Sheets, go into A4. If you're on a computer, it's Control Shift V. If you're on a Mac, it might be Command Shift V. I'm not entirely sure. But boom, Control Shift V, that plugs everything in. Now don't think we're done here. I mean, we still need to plug in all of the information. This is just the raw data, right? There's no function connected to this. If we change this, nothing is going to change, okay? Well, let's change this to PayPal because that's what it is. So what we want to do now is delete all of these. So wherever the numbers are, we want to delete those. We just want to hit Control Shift V to get all of the information. And by information, I mean this stuff. So now that we have all of this, we could bold it if we want. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'll bold. All right, good. Now that we bolded it, we could bold this stuff up here as well. We can start putting in our first functions. So the very first function I want to do is the one that's up here. And we're going to be starting off with an equals if is blank. So if is blank. Okay, we should all know what is blank is now. I'm going to highlight and we're going to do $H, $1. And then we want to close that off. Okay, so if H1 is blank, comma, keep it blank, comma, substitute, open parentheses, index, open parentheses, import, HTML, open parentheses. And guys, don't worry, we're not going to have to plug in a million different times. Once we have our first one, it's going to be a lot of copy and pasting. So the video is going to go much quicker. And if you have watched any of my other videos, which I highly encourage, you probably already know this function. This is how we pull from Finviz. Finviz.com. Quote. We have a slash, then quote. .ashx. I pretty much have this memorized now because I've typed it in so many times from all my other videos. Question mark T equals open parentheses, not parentheses, open quotations, and $A, $3, comma, in quotations, we want table, comma, well, close quotations, then comma, table 6 is where we're pulling from right now, comma, 2, comma, 1, close that, hit another comma, and then we want to do the asterisk, whoops, that's not asterisk, asterisk, comma, blank, hit enter, and there we go. You're probably wondering, okay, why isn't anything happening? Well, that's because we are not pulling anything from H1, which is this. There's nothing in here. So H1 is going to be our very next one we're going to put in. And then we're going to start to see some stuff come to life. But before that, we're actually going to jump over to here and hit equals H3. Hit enter. You'll see why in a second. So now let's go over to H1. And at this point, we could pretty much copy a decent amount of this. We could start from import. So we're going to copy import, all of this, even A3, even table, all the way to 6. So this is what we're copying from import HTML, the actual web address, and $A, $3, comma, in quotations table, comma 6. So hit Control C. Make sure you don't see what I just did. I clicked over here and I put it in there. That could screw up the code. Make sure you don't do that. Once you hit Control C, just hit enter so you don't mess up any of the code. So we're going to go to H1. You're going to hit equals and then Control V. So it puts it all in. Hit enter. It loads. And there we go. Look at that. Now we actually have some of the data. See that? That is now imported. And these two, it's kind of hard to see because the text is black right now. But what we're going to do is highlight both of those. And we can make the text bigger. About 24 is a little too big. 18 seems good. We could bold that. And we could center it. And then we could change the color so it's easier to see. Whoops, not that color. Change the text. And on top of that, if we go up here, vertical align, this will make it in the middle. I don't like how it's touching the bottom. Middle makes it look a lot better. And you know what? We might be able to make it a little bit smaller. 14 might be good. We'll make it 18. We'll make it 18. We'll unbold it. That looks good. All right. So now that we have that, before we dive into the rest, which guys, it's just going to get easier and easier because it's the same code, just different tables and stuff like that. I just want to go over something really quick because a lot of people from my old videos were having problems when they're trying to pull from Finviz, or maybe they're pulling from another site and they are also having problems. So I just want to take a second to review something to make sure your function is right. Here's stuff that you need to see. First off, syntax is a huge thing. You mess up on even the smallest thing, say a comma. If a comma is a period, error. Okay, you're going to get an error code even if one little thing is off. So you need to make sure nothing is off for it to actually work. And then on top of that, sometimes copying and pasting doesn't work all the time. You actually may have to plug in the entire code if you're getting some kind of error. Spaces, doesn't matter. It still works with spaces. It just looks ugly. You see what I just did there again? I clicked over here, so C3 just popped in. We don't want that. And another very important thing, you see how this text is green, this text is yellow, these two things are green. We got A and 3 is purple. All of the colors need to match. That's something. If maybe like this 6 is black on your end and not blue, you know something's wrong and you need to go back and fix whatever's wrong. You might be missing or you may have too many quotations. Watch what happens if I get rid of this quotation. See, now table is black. We want it green. So these are little things to look out for. And lastly, I feel like this is going to happen. So we have the right tables. To pull this information, we have table 6. And then to pull all of this information in a couple of seconds, it is currently table 8, but I feel like every time I upload a Finviz video, the tables change. It's not 8 anymore. So if that happens after I upload this and 8's not working, check in the comments, check in my description. I'll keep updating it with the proper table, but it's been table 8 for a while, so fingers crossed that it stays that way. But let's move on to the full ticker now. So the full ticker is another easy one. We're going to hit equals H1 and then hit enter. So H1 is just pulling right from here. And then for exchange, this is the new code. This is pretty cool. So now what we're going to do is hit reg. And what we want is reg extract. Okay, so this is the one we want. Reg extract extracts matching substrings with regular expressions. So essentially what this is saying is this is a string. And PayPal is a substring. And then NASD is another substring. We want to separate these two and we only want to pull this. So that's how we're going to do this. And it's with reg extract. So we're going to do reg extract, hit this cell, B3, hit comma. And then what we want to do is open quotations, backslash, open bracket, open parenthesis, open a second bracket, capital A minus ZA. So capital Z, lowercase a, minus Z, lowercase z that is, close that bracket, hit plus, close that quotation, and you see that, NSAD. Then we want to hit backslash, and then we want to hit close bracket. Then we want to hit the quotation again, close that parenthesis, hit enter, whoops. There we go. There it is. Now, if we want to pull a stock that's not traded on the NASDAQ, maybe the New York Stock Exchange, like Target, hit enter, that loads. See that? NYSE. It's pulling this without the brackets. So that's how we get exchange. And you can see right here, it looks like this is a little too big. So let's actually bring this down to maybe 12. 12 could be good. What about 14? 14 works. We'll keep it at 14 just so we can see it. So now that we have that, we can start to get into the easier stuff. And the easier stuff is going to be all of this. You're going to see why this is a lot easier. It's going to be a lot of repetition. It's going to be the same thing. And we get to copy most of this. We're actually going to copy all of this. And we'll change some stuff. So copy all of that. Go here, hit Control V. And clearly that's the wrong thing and not what we want. So what we want to do is go up here. And instead of H1, we want to pull from A3. Okay, whoops, A3. And we want to keep all of this. We want to keep the quotations, the substitute, index, import HTML. We want to keep the website. We also want to keep A3 here. We want to keep table, but we want to change the table number. So instead of 6, we're pulling from 8. And instead of 2, we want this to be 1, and then this to be 2. Whoops. So that one, this one, 2. So we got 8, 1, 2. We hit enter. It's loading. There we go. S&P 500. So that's the index that we want. And if we jump back to Finviz, where are we pulling this? You can see it's right here. So we are pulling this table. This function that we just made is telling, hey, go to finviz.com, go to table 8, which is this down here. And then we want to pull 1, 2. We want to pull from row 1, column 2. So that's how we're getting S&P 500. So to get our market cap should be pretty easy. We're going to be pulling from column 2, row 2. So if we jump back, and now we could copy all of this. So Control C, we go down to market cap, Control V, and now we could change this to 2. Hit enter, and there we go. Now we're pulling the market cap. Let's just plug in PayPal to check our work. So you can see it says 286 billion, and there we go, 286 billion. So now to go down the line, we can actually kind of just copy and paste this all the way down like that. Obviously, these are all wrong. What we have to now do is just slowly update with the right numbers. And by that, I mean right here. So instead of 2, this is now 3. You can hit enter. This is now 4, 5, 6. And just in case you're not realizing what I'm doing, I'll slow down a little bit. So for dividend is going to be up here. We want to just change this to row 7, right? Because what we want is we're just going down the line here and we're pulling all of this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're just going down the line here. So that's why I'm updating this. And when I hit enter, watch this. I'm on 10 right now. It's going to drop down to 11 when I hit enter. So now we're down here, down on 11. And this shouldn't be 2. This should be 8. I hit enter and you see that now it updates down here to what we want. So now we want 9, hit enter. Now we want 10, enter. 11, enter. And then last one is 12, enter. So all of this, we check over here. Good, it's all right. So now we want to jump over to this one. So we can paste again. And instead of 1 and 2, what we are going to want to do now, because we're in a different column, we are in column 4. Because this is column 2, this is column 3, now we want column 4. So we change this to 4, hit enter, and we got 68. Let's see, there's 68. So we're on the right one. And this is how you could always check your work. But go ahead and drag this down. And now what we want to do is update all of these. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Now that we have all that, you guys probably know what to do now. We hit Control V in our column F. And instead of 2, so this, well, let's see. This was 4. 5. This should now be 6. So let's go back here, hit 6, and hit Enter. And now we could drag this down. And then we go back and update the rows. So you can see, I mean, all of these, we got 12. And then if we go over here, see, you can see the column is changing, 2, 4, and 6, but 12 is staying the same. And then if we go up, the row is now changing, right? Just want to make sure you guys fully understand that. And what's great is you don't just have to create a tracker that looks like this. You can then use this data however you want. If you want to create a portfolio tracker like I have in my other videos, and you want EPS next year, like that's a fundamental you love looking out for whatever reason, you know how to pull it now. Here it is. You know how to pull everything on Finviz. So now we're going to jump over to the next one. All right, guys, now that we have all of that, we can kind of clean this up. And again, just so you guys know what's going on here, you can see this row, I'm pulling from 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. Or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then as I go up, this is pulling from row 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's the same across. So you guys should understand how this is going now. Before we move on to pulling the actual description of the company, we could highlight, I guess, everything. Or if you go up to this corner, this will highlight the entire sheet. And we could change to make sure that the font is right. I want the font to all be the same. There we go. And actually, I don't like that this font is bigger. I want this font to be 10. So if we change all of that now, 10, 10, 10, just a little cosmetic stuff. 10, highlight all of this. 10, and then the last one, we will make 10. Great. Now that all of that is set, what we want to do, and this is pretty interesting, we want to go down to 17. I guess really that doesn't matter. 17, 18. We'll just stick with 17. I'm going to hit, well, we're not even going to hit anything. We're going to do some copy and paste. So we're going to go back to import HTML, blah, 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 all the way to the end. Oh, hold on. Import HTML and the A, the table. We'll even copy up to table 8. You'll see why. So we go down here. Whoops, I did it again. Go right down here, hit Control V. So now that we have all of that, let's put an equals in front of the import. And then instead of table 8, we want table 9. We're going to hit Enter. It's loading. And now you can see below, we have this. And we have, for some reason, it pulls these two tables, and then it pulls our description. And it's in 17. You can see 17 is blank. Why is it like that? That's just how it is. It's not like we could delete any of this. So you can see I'm hitting the delete button, and it won't work. And that's because all of this is being generated from 17, which, as you can see, there's nothing in there. So what we will actually do is we'll delete 16. So we'll delete that row. And we will take all the way from 17 to 22, right click, and we want to hide them. Just because it's like extra data we don't want to see. Same with this. You know, I mean, if you want to keep that, go for it, but I don't want to see that. So we will hide that as well. Or if you don't want to hide, maybe you just want to make the text white so then it disappears. So we go here, text is white. Now it's gone, you don't see it. But now that is it, guys. We have everything here. If you want to test it out, I mean, it's really cool. We type in, how about Target now? Everything updates. Here's everything. We have the corporation. We have, you know, what industry it's in and sector, what country. We have the full ticker. We have the exchange. All of this beautiful data that Finviz provides us with. And then the entire description of the company. What's another stock we could look at? How about Facebook? You know, we could pull all of this data. And again, it sucks that we can't pull international data. I wonder if we could pull BMW. No, see, we can't pull international data in Finviz. That's the one thing that sucks, because this is the best site for as much data as possible, but for some reason it's only US stocks. I wish it wasn't, but it is what it is. How about brk.a? Can we pull Berkshire Hathaway? Nope. Doesn't look like it. Can't even pull that. Can we pull SPY? Does this have indexes? It does. I mean, it's really limited to data, pulling the index. Like, we don't even have market cap or income, but an index wouldn't have that stuff anyway. But it works, at least, so you can see stuff like that. How about the QQQ? There we go. We can pull indexes. How about ARC-F? One of my favorite ones. Again, limited data, but it is what it is. You got a lot of the technical analysis, which I guess is good.
All right, guys, I hope you liked this video, and now you know how to make that awesome Finviz spreadsheet. Again, all thanks to my boy John. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, drop any comments, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one.